Namaste. It's the spiritual day walker with your tarot card reading for this new moon phase. And it's eclipse season. So, Cancer, shit is hitting the fan. If you already are in the middle of changing your life, then this is probably good news for you because it's going to level the playing field, right? Everything starts anew during eclipse season. If you're not in fundamental change in your life right now, you're gonna be during this eclipse season. That is going to be interesting. But I'm a Cancer myself. I've been experiencing change for the last years, right? And it's very fucking profound. It's still not finished yet. So I'm very much looking forward to this playing field being leveled so I can finally build on even ground. So I get that for you, it's a similar experience, right? I have an Aquarius moon that is strong within me since I'm night born, so um, that's why I'm going to explain the cards in a very profound and analytic manner. But at core, I'm a Cancer that just wants to be cherished and wants a home and wants to build a home, right? And feel like home somewhere, you know? That's why I'm on Bali here, not to travel and see waterfalls, but actually to be somewhere where my core being is nurtured and all that stuff, where I can be who I want to be, what I want to be, figure out who I want to be, you know? And this eclipse season is going to help us with that. I get that you already made a lot of progress, internal progress, right? So, the cool thing with Saturn going direct now is that especially water signs that have a lot of problems with getting shit going because they're so in depth in their feelings, right? Um, mm, they have an easier go now. It's like, okay, you've worked through it. Now it's time to get it to the next level, right? Whatever it is, if it's a relationship or business or whatever. Um, That being said, it is a general reading. So if the message doesn't resonate with you, Cancer, drop a message. If it does resonate with you, drop a comment, like, and subscribe. So enough with my energy. We're going to see in your energy now in the DNA spread, which is a form of the Tree of Life spread. And oh, wait, I'm showing you a card right now, right? I haven't looked at it. Six of Coins. See? What you don't see coming is, well, you're putting in a lot of work and you have to control your intention why you put in the work, right? Mm. So are you feeling compelled to give so much, right? Or do you have the feeling you owe it to somebody, you know, right? But it's going to work out fine. Like, you're going to get something out of it. It's about creating balance. So just because I was holding it like this, it kind of means you're seeing it for a long time. You're tuning to the energy. So I kind of have to read it for you, don't I? Um, Now I have to shuffle it back in. Probably it's going to pop up in the reading somewhere, huh? Yeah, well, the way I shuffle, yeah, the way I shuffle just now, it's gonna. So the DNA spread is the soul coming into manifestation, and then the energy is balancing around it. Linked to numerology, I'm going to explain it as we go along. In the spot of the soul, that's the zero, Keter, there's a Six of Cups in reverse, so you're done with old feelings, which is cool because what I experience for myself, it's all linked to emotions, right? You manifest from emotions. Since we're caught in a water sign, we are about confronting ourselves and others with emotions, meaning every situation we live through is very emotional, right? So for me, it is my money mindset. Maybe you can connect to that. It's like, I realize that money is not a bad thing, but actually thinking about money and having a good feeling in your body, that's a different story. And that's what we're getting at. So the soul decided it's time to let go of nostalgia. Because that Six of Cups, right, often associated with nostalgia because, well, six is an insight that gets you going, that take something to the next level, right? And that is often, when it comes to emotions, water energy, linked to your experiences in the past and thinking about those experiences, working through those experiences. That's why it's a card for nostalgia. And if the soul decided it's enough of the Six of Cups already, that means you're actually moving on, right? You're not just deciding to move on, you're actually emotionally moving on, right? Like thinking about your ex is not going to feel the same. Thinking about the dreams unfulfilled is not going to feel the same, right? Thinking about money is not going to feel the same. You're actually incorporating in your emotional body what you've been trying to incorporate all along. That's what it feels like for me, and that's what this card is kind of confirming for me. Now let's move a little quicker through the spread. Like it's a lot of cards, so in the spot of the 9, that's the challenge, that's a topic where you're landing in the end. That's a Four of Wands in reverse. Interesting. Struggling with the rite of passage, so it's going to be a little challenging to get it going here. Maybe things coming together is a little delayed, and the challenge is to not lose faith during that time. That could be it, that like you're kind of, you're you're working through those emotions. You feel like you're ahead of time and have to wait for reality to catch up, for the playing field to be level, right? Four of Wands, but Four of Wands is good energy. Feels like things coming together is a little delayed. It's not, maybe not as fast as you want it to, but they're coming together all right. And maybe things are falling apart. I don't really want to predict that into my reality, right? But let's see. It is the core energy of the entire experience. It's not manifestation. The manifestation is here in the spot of the 10. The Fool, also in reverse. Just the way I flipped it out, the way it's landed. The Fool, I mean, you know that you're in the Fool energy, right? You know it. You are working on it already. You're in the middle of it. You're starting something new. And starting that something new is a little delayed. It's not moving as fast as you want it to, but it is moving, right? That's a beautiful thing. Like you've acknowledged that Fool already. That's why it's already manifested, or you're gonna manifest it quite soon, right? It's like you've made that plan, you thought it through, and now it's time to put it into action, like for real. Not just you didn't just make that plan in your head. I mean, like you actually took some steps toward it, towards it, right? And that's why that Four of Wands in reverse is a little like, okay, so when is it going to happen? When is it going to come together? When are we actually coming together as a couple, maybe, right? Or now I decided what I want to do and I'm sending out all the applications. Well, will I get that job? When will my business be successful enough so I can live off it? Stuff like that, you know? Probably like this. I'm very curious on how the energies are completing this picture, because like having all the major cards all in reverse, I mean, reversals can mean both. It can mean that you're struggling with the energy, or that you're moving out of it. And when you take the quintessence essence of it, it basically means that you're consciously working through an issue, right? So you're confronted with it, you're struggling with it, but your goal is to move out of that, right? At the moment you've acknowledged that problem consciously, you're already moving out of it. So that's where it's coming together. So reversals basically means that you're consciously working through that problem, that what happens is known to you, right? Because you're fucking confronted with it. You cannot get around it, and you have to acknowledge it. So that's why reversal is not a bad thing. It is basically a good thing, because it's like, bam, it's there. You know what is happening, right? That's a cool thing. So in the spot of the 1, that thing that gets you moving is a tower. The thing that gets you moving is a tower. That's life pushing you towards something. That is well, something falling apart, something not working out, whatever. I feel for you, well, for myself also, right? But I feel that that tower is still going on. It's not. It didn't happen yesterday, you know, and it's not gonna happen if it's something that was pushing you, or you are in that tower energy probably for the last years, right? Um, that tower is, now it's critical. Now it's like, okay, shit is falling apart. You have to build it. You have to rebuild it, right? So it well, can be being fucking broke and you know, having to do it now, right? Where you're like, okay, I got nothing to lose anymore. I might as well do this, you know? For me, it was like, wow, building an online shop is like, ooh, can I do this in time to make money with it? And now I'm so broke that it's like, whatever I do, it's not going to be in time. I have to think about something like, anyway. So I might as well do the big thing because that's what I actually want to do, right? Um, so I'm giving you a deep insight of what I'm at, where I'm at emotionally, but maybe you can relate. It's like that tower energy is like it's getting more and more and more critical until you got nothing to lose and you have to move, and it's gonna be freeing, or it is already, right? Where you're like, okay, now it doesn't matter anymore. Now I can do whatever the fuck I want because I have to do something, and I might as well do the thing I'm really passionate about, right? So let's see. This tower is received in the spot of the two by a five of swords in reverse. Well, that is cutting out things out of your life that you don't want to believe in anymore, right? That is mind energy, like making up your mind, or maybe struggling to make up your mind. For some, it's maybe like, um, yeah, for some, it's maybe like a lack of focus, where you're like, okay, I want to do this, I want to do this, where to start, you know, that is urging you to make a decision on what to leave behind and what to focus on, right? So but your mindset is shifting. And that relates to what I said earlier with the Six of Cups. It's like your mindset is shifting because of that tower, and along with that mindset shifting, there's a Six of Cups in reverse where you're like, okay, you know, I feel different about it now because, well, I'm I'm in the middle of that change. There's nothing I can do about it now but to rebuild. So I might as well, right? So Five of Swords is changing your mind and leaving behind shit that is not easy to leave behind, right? But consciously deciding on what not to entertain and what to entertain in the future, right? So making up your mind, like literally cleaning house up there, you know? The spot of the three, that's the insight that is going to give you a push forward. That's a Three of Coins. That is cool, right? And it makes sense with that power, because Three of Coins is a card for networking. It's a card for taking your reality to the next level, like physically, like caring about how to put shit into motion. It's like, okay, I got to do something now. Like, I got to think about taxes. I got to ask people if they have a job for me. I have to like gain some tangible success, and that is involving other people. So that's why it's a card for networking, right? So the next step for you out of that tower is like making up your mind and then approaching people, right? Approaching people with what you want to do, whether they can help you or whether, better, you can help them, right? And that is the insight you get. It's like, okay, it's time to network. It's time to reactivate your network, right? With that new mindset. I get a very positive feeling about this, which is interesting because I don't always have that with cancer readings, you know, because I am. Um, but from that tower and the Five of Swords, having the realization of a Three of Coins is like, yep, I got to reach out to people. I got to reach out to people, and I got to build my network, right? And that's a cool thing because, I mean, that is like, as a Cancer, you're connecting to other people easily, just random, randomly. You just like, suddenly you're in a deep conversation with someone, right? But the Three of Coins actually means seeking out those encounters, seeking out those opportunities, working together on a project, or some whatever, so that is, especially for a water sign, like using your water energy to really nurture, like proactively, and progressively, right? Very beautiful. In the spot of the Four, the fallback idea that gives you a sense of security, that's a Queen of Wands in reverse. That is basically the idea that you can be vulnerable, right? You don't have to be demanding. You don't have to be a bitch. If you don't want to be an asshole, you don't have to be successful. That's a cool thing because you cannot. You're a Cancer. You cannot be an asshole. Well, you can, but not consciously. You're like, you can be overwhelmed by yourself so much so that you're lashing out at people. Yes, like you can be a diva, right? Like, really, for fuck's sake, Cancer, you can be a real diva, but you always catch yourself in being a diva, right? And like the Four, that is a thought or an energy that uplifts you. And if that is a Queen of Wands in reverse, that means the insight that you don't have to entertain that energy. So for a lot of you, it's actually a Queen of Wands in reverse. So it's actually a diva. It's actually a person in your life that you decided against, or that you decide against, right? So it makes sense in so many ways. Like, see, the number 4 is for stability. So it's associated with home, with partnership, with anything, right? So for some of you, you are still in a partnership, can be relationship or business, in a partnership with someone that is overly demanding and very stressful to you as a sensitive being, right? And then the idea that gives you an inner sense of stability is like, I don't have to be with that person. I don't have to put up with that shit, right? And even more so, I don't have to learn from this energy. I don't want to be like that, so I don't have to be like that. That is a very, very comforting thought for a sensitive sign. It's like, yeah, well, fire energy, well and good, but I'm not that kind of person and I don't want to be. Oh, and I don't have to be, right? I got to stop idealizing that shit. That's very beautiful. Now let's see, in the spot of the 5, the thing that is giving you a little confrontation here. I mean, you're looking for a change. You are in the middle of a change. Now, the 5 stands for change. So this should be part of the process, but I feel like it's going to be a little like an inhibitor, just tough for you to overcome. 8 of Swords in reverse. Well, yeah, another card for letting your guard down, for leaving mindsets behind, right? It's also, well, if you're going to see a Hierophant in reverse, then it's clear for me. But the 8 of Swords can be a card for bullshit advice or naysayers. It's a lot of arguments around you, a lot of belief systems around you that you, what did I say in the last video? Like, that you adapt, yeah, that you adopt without adapting, right? So you take on other people's beliefs, right? And that can be harmful, especially if it's a Queen of Wands in reverse. If it's someone that makes you feel shitty because you can never, ever meet their demands because they don't want their demands to be met, because they're in reverse, they're like out of whack, out of balance. And if a Queen of Wands is out of balance, that is bitching, and not in a good sense, right? So that Eight of Swords is it's in both ways. It's like, again, both ways. The upside of an Eight of Swords in your spot of the 5 is definitely that, and the Eight of Swords is in reverse. That means realizing that if you take on the confrontation in the spot of the 5 by leaving your prison, Eight of Swords in reverse, right? That is going to set you free from that Queen of Wands, from the stable part that was kind of messing with your energy, kind of messing you up. If I'm getting too complex here, let me know in the comments. Yeah, but that's exactly it. Eight of Swords is a card for building your prison in your mind, which is most likely, or more often than not, mindsets that are not your own, but that you adopted along the way, right? And confronting that, letting go of that, that is what you're going through, right? What's not easy to do, but well, you are in the middle of a tower. You have made up your mind, and why do I get that it's in the past? Not exactly for all of you, right? Some of you probably are triggered by the idea of a Queen of Wands person, like a diva lashing out already, like, oh yeah, that's my partner. Like, I really don't want it anymore. Or that's like, oh, my boss, so demanding, and whatever I do, it's always gonna be not enough, whatever, right? That's because that energy is working with a mindset that keeps you caged, or like below what you could actually achieve, and you're letting go of that, right? For some it's in the past, for some it's in the present, but I get it's not the future, because it's all in reverse. It's all you, almost all in reverse. It's all you realizing that, making that shit a reality. That's all the shit you're letting go of emotionally, you know? Now let's see something practical, something in manifestation that is a little more directed to the future, so we can actually make something of this. In the spot of the 7, what you're attached to, or the idea about yourself that you're entertaining. The 4 of Coins in reverse, well, that's a fucked up money mindset, right? If your idea about yourself is a 4 of Coins in reverse, then that kind of means that you are attached to the idea of not having resources in your life, not having stability in your life. So as long as you are attached to the idea that as long as you identify with scarcity, you're going to manifest scarcity, right? But again, in reverse, it's very clear to you right now. And since your soul decided to get out of this, that's exactly what's happening. Get out of the emotions attached to all those thoughts that we're covering here, right? And also, I mean, it's in a manifestation, so you are experiencing scarcity. But for me, it is for the very first time, it feels different, right? It feels so different that, like, you are in a situation where resources are short, or where things in your reality you held dear are shifting, you've been hanging on to for a long time, or you thought they were going to stay for a long time. So something that gave you a sense of stability is being pulled away from you with that tower, right? Tower, 8 of Swords, 4 of Coins in reverse, both. 8 of Swords, 4 of Coins in reverse. So your reality being pulled away from under your feet is like, it's the best thing that could happen to you, because it makes you realize how you got into that situation in the first place, over and over, right? It makes you realize something about, hey, like, I know this, but it feels different this time. So I'm actually letting go of that idea that Like the Four of Coins in reverse in the spot of the seven. It's a classic artist thing, you know. It's a classic. Well, I rather do what I love instead what pays. That implies the idea that what you love never pays, or that what pays never is what you love, and that's bullshit, right? That is a belief system, right? Talking about belief systems, that's exactly where it's coming from. Belief systems that have been imposed on you that led to you identifying with scarcity, right? It's like, but I don't care about money, I care about emotions. Yeah, true. But money counts, like literally. And that doesn't take away from your emotional experience. It doesn't make you a trader, you know, like it's both, right? As a matter of fact, having the stability through financial freedom, I don't want to just talk about money here, but it's like having that financial freedom is so like implies so many positive emotions, right? Of course you're not doing it for the money. You know that money can't like money is not equal happiness, right? But it gives you the freedom to experience what makes you happy, you know? So it's tight, right? And there's nothing wrong. No, it's actually quite right to strive for that, right? And that is something that you're very aware of. I'm telling you nothing new here. I'm just saying what you're going through right now, that is opening your eyes to exactly that, to exactly either that realization about, oh shit, true, I actually identify with being poor. Why do I think that this wasn't meant for me? Why do I think that? Like that can be a realization, or you're already at the point where you think like, wow, it feels different though, right? Like shit is hitting the fan like crazy, and I really like have to work on it, but I feel good about it. Like it doesn't feel as it used to, you know, and that is a really fucking cool thing. So now let's see, in the spot of the eight, how you're receiving this energy and like what's gonna bring abundance to you. The thought that is bringing abundance to you, an abundance of emotions, I guess. But let's see. Nine of Swords. A Nine of Swords in the spot of the eight. I mean, fuck. Um, you're stressing out, man. Fuck. You're stressing out. And, well, it makes sense because of the Four of Coins. Who had that? Same thing, right? Four of Coins in reverse, Nine of Swords. That is. Ooh, Taurus had that, I believe. Interesting. Taurus had a really fucking good reading, and then Four of Coins in reverse and Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords is overthinking, right? It's stressing out about shit. And I get a nice vibe from the Nine of Swords today. Very interesting. How can that be? I mean, it is about insight, right? Um, it's so for some it's going to be that downward spiral again, right? It's going to be the yeah, well, the Four of Coins is the card for having a home, right? And if a Cancer loses his home, loses his house, his shell, um, like that's a problem, right? And that leads to a downward spiral in your mind. It's like maybe it's not meant to be. Maybe that bitch was right, and I'm just not worth it, or whatever, um, something like that. So your mind keeps spiraling. There's an abundance of thought in your mind. Um, and still, it feels different. it kind of feels different. And you going through that scarcity right now is going to make you realize that it feels different, right? Wicked, man. I really want to see what you realize from that, because in the spot of the six, there is that realization from the nine of swords and the four of coins in reverse balancing out. So it is a thought that elevates your experience, that alleviates you. So that is the ace of coins in reverse. The potential for something long term is there. Are you doubting it? It's delayed though. Why is it all in reverse? Why are you so... I have to be careful here because since I'm a Cancer, I don't want to put too much into it. So the realization that the potential is there, but you have to believe in it. Maybe you don't see it even. Maybe it's bigger than you think. Wow. Ace of coins in reverse. Let me clarify this. I never do this with the spread, but I really want to know what this ace of coins in reverse is meaning, because I'm building a business. So realizing an ace of coins in reverse is not exactly what I want to see. I want to get that fool going, but the fool is in reverse. Let's see elemental dignities of the ace of coins. My tarot mentor is going to be proud of me right now. Yeah, let's see how this ace of coins is weighed. So that's earth, right? We got ten of swords. It's so funny. I mean, like, the ten of swords is lying on top of the nine of swords. And then there's a two of swords in reverse. Mind and mind. So the ace of coins is, yeah, the reversal is like, it's indignified. Meaning you have a tough time believing in the potential and making that potential a reality as long as you are so in your fucking mind about it, right? I mean, you have double mind energy here, triple, right, surrounding those coins, because about you're worrying about all that shit. I actually feel kind of good for myself about it because I feel like I'm ahead of this. But fuck, man, it makes sense. I mean, like, when a four of coins in reverse in your ego spot, your identity spot appears, then of course it's going to make you worry, right? And the insight you're gaining from this is like, hey, maybe that ace of coins needs a little more time. Maybe the project that I'm working on needs a little more time. You know, maybe that potential is not as big as I thought it would be, or maybe I just gotta believe in it more. Whatever. Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords means that this spiral is coming to a close, right? The Nine of Swords is the spiral. The Ten of Swords is the rock bottom where you realize, like, fuck, I really have to let go of those coping mechanisms, of those ideas surrounding manifestation, surrounding birth, all of this, right? That's when you're getting out of that downward spiral, right? That's a very interesting reading because it's all there. It just, like, very much, there's a lot of swords here. Fuck, you play like the five of swords, eight of swords, nine of swords, ten of swords, two of swords. Like, you're very much in your mind about all of this, which makes sense because there's a tower and a four of coins in reverse. The three of coins is you realizing you have to ask for help, right? Or have to, like, actively seek out something that could help you progress here. And that ace of coins in reverse, a four of wands in reverse, fool in reverse is like, you want to bring something together here, manifest something for the long term. but it's a little delayed, or it's taken longer than you want it to. Well, brace yourself. That's cool though, because like maybe it needs that time. Timing is divine, right? Um, very freaking interesting. Um, very freaking interesting. It makes sense. I mean, like, first of all, if a tower happens in your life and it shatters your resources, right? It's okay to worry. It's okay to worry, right? Just getting stuck in your head about it doesn't exactly help you making a move, right? That is the thing. But it's okay to worry, right? So it's understandable and it's okay. You don't have to though. You have to believe that it's going to work out, and you have to work for it here, right? You have to work for it. With the plan you have in mind, something is off a little, right? And it doesn't have to be that, like, doesn't have to be that the plan is off. Maybe it's just the timing. Maybe the timing is off. Because the Ace of Coins is in reverse, the Four of Wands is in reverse, and the Fool is in reverse. So it's like you are in the Fool energy, you're embracing it, you're just a little stuck in your mind because, and I don't get the stuck in your mind as a blockage. I get you are stuck in your mind because of the blockages, in a sense. You know? It's like it's not that you're hindering yourself from moving on. It is more that you are, like, it's taken longer than you anticipated, or it's gonna take more time than you anticipated, and that's what's gonna make you worry more. But you don't have to exactly, because there's that Three of Coins, right? You left that Queen of Wands behind, or maybe you're gonna. Maybe after this reading, you're gonna. Whatever. I'm not the one telling you to like quit your partnership, whatever. But a Queen of Wands in reverse in your stability, that's like you're hanging on to an energy that is largely out of whack and very demanding, which is not a cool thing for a Cancer. Not a cool thing. Remembering that Six of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck is like giving and giving and giving and giving, but all for the wrong reasons. And here it seems like your reasoning is very active, right? A little out of whack, but very active. Your mind is very active in this. It's like, how do I make it work, right? And what I can say is you are making it work, because the progression of it is perfect, right? It's like you are in the Fool energy, so you're starting something completely new. Of course that you're worrying because you've never done it before, right? It's completely fucking new. You realize the potential of this, right? Maybe maybe you're doubting it, maybe you're actually trying to calculate how much potential it actually is, but it is the Ace of Wands. And then as the outcome, the potential outcome, or like the lesson you learn, is the Four of Wands. And if you're like, yeah, it's all in reverse, blah, but the progression is so perfect. You're in the Fool, like you're having the new beginning, having all the potential to manifest it, and it's gonna come together in this rite of passage that the Four of Wands represents. Is like it's gonna come together for good, and it's gonna work out fine. The fact that it's all in reverse simply signifies that, well, it's taking more time than anticipated. Well, doesn't it always, right? Doesn't it always? I mean, it makes sense because the Tower is really putting pressure on you, and that's why you're worrying so much, right? The Four of Coins in reverse really putting pressure on you. So that's why struggling with the Fool, the Ace of Wands, and the Four of Wands is like, yeah, you have to make it work now. That's why you're like very consciously aware of what's happening here, right? It's like, okay, I've never done this before. I don't actually know if the potential is as big as I feel it is. I don't know whether it's going to come together here. But guess what? The energy is all there. It's gonna come together. It might take you some time, but it makes so much sense that you are so in your head about it because, well, you're doing something completely new here. And it's perfect, man. It's fucking perfect. Right now, this phase for you, though, is dominated by the Six of Cups in reverse, which means letting go of the emotions attached to these tower moments, to this tower moment, the Four of Coins in reverse, so like that stability fading. So it's okay if it takes a little more time, because what's happening right now is more underneath the surface energetically, right? It's you learning how to feel good about what is happening no matter what is happening. Does that make sense? I mean, like, you're very much worrying, but through that worrying, you're going to realize that's not the way to get there, right? You have to think about everything, like make smart decisions, yada, 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 but you don't want to get stuck in your head, right? It's nothing new for you, I know, but since you're learning that Six of Cups in reverse from this experience, and you're going to come out in a Four of Wands in reverse in this experience, that means like you have to go through this rite of passage first to make it work, right? So you have to really feel positive about a negative situation to turn it around. Does that make sense for you? I mean, like, for me, it ties to the money mindset. It's like, if you think about scarcity, what do you feel in your body? If you think about money, do you think about scarcity? If you think about resources or relationship, right? Does it put pressure on you, right? How to resolve that pressure, right? It's only resolved through, well, trust and learning, because the more capable you feel, the more sure-footed you can move forward, right? It's taken ages, this reading, I know, but this is a difficult reading to flip because there's so many thoughts that don't need to be there, because in the middle there is that tricolon of empowerment. Actually, it's just right now very much still in your head because it's basically about clearing out the emotion attached to it. And well, I'm not gonna lie, this is gonna be an interesting month because you don't know. You just don't know. You have to, like, how did my boss always say, like, you have to learn how to find peace in a burning house. And that's exactly what you're doing right now, is finding your inner peace in a burning house, realizing that it has to burn to the ground so you can rebuild. That is very beautiful, actually, because the energy, like, I have to remind you, the energy is all there. The Fool, the Ace of Wands, and the Four of Wands. So you're going for that. You made the decision to go for that. You're building on it. You're believing in the potential. You believing that it's going to come together. You just don't know how and when, right? But it feels better and better every time you think about it. And when you not think about it, it feels best, doesn't it? No, not exactly. I mean, like, you're letting go of these attachments, coping mechanisms that were attached to building your career in general, realizing that you have to build that network. Actually, quite like spot on and a beautiful reading. Like, there's a lot going on. You're trying not to stress out about it, and you're letting go of the Eight of Swords, the Two of Swords, like all those mindsets that kept you caged for so long. You're letting go of them. And the moment you have broken them apart, that's when this is all going to come to flourish. Very beautiful. Cancer, I hope I didn't scare you off. Just just know I feel real, like, if you can judge from my experience as I feel really good about myself, even though there's a fucking four of coins in reverse, and I see it, feel it. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Well, I know what I'm gonna do, but I don't know whether it's gonna work out or not. But I feel really good about it, and that is a good sign for me, right? I'm I'm always on edge, always in a good way. I'm always doing something. I'm like closed in, working on shit, right? Trying to find a solution or like fortify what I want to build and all that stuff, right? But day by day, I feel better and better and better about what I'm doing. So let this be an inspiration for you. This is not a bad reading. It's just a lot going on in your mind, and it's being put. You're being pushed through it, right? So let it happen. Enjoy that. It's like profoundly shifting your reality and helping you with this new beginning here, right? Clearing out the mess so you can start fresh. That's beautiful. Cancer, if you're still with me, thank you so much for bearing with me here through this, for sharing your energy with me. I mean, it's my energy too, you know. And yeah, drop a comment, like and subscribe. Check out daywalker-bali.com. Subscribe to the newsletter. I'm building the online shop, and as you know now, I really need your support to like check it out, drive the traffic, and yeah, all that stuff. It's gonna be amazing. I truly believe it's gonna be amazing. The idea is great, but that's my fool, you know. This tarot thing, the channels attached to it, the online shop attached to it, the life in Bali, it's like all of it. That's my fool. That's what I'm working on, and we're gonna take it to the next level soon, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for being with me. I love you.